It's time to get back to basics. Focus on fundamentals and winning. It's time for the turnover chain and touchdown rings to officially be retired. And luckily, it looks like Mario Cristobal has already pulled the plug. What's going on, Canes fans? Now, before we get into this one, I need you to hit the subscribe button. I've set a goal on this channel to hit 20,000 subscribers in 2022. Once we hit 20K, I will be doing some big giveaways, but to be eligible, you must be subscribed. And listen, if you want to go through and create a second YouTube account just to subscribe to the channel to help those numbers grow, I won't be mad. So listen, I realize that we've discussed this topic to death. We've talked about it in previous live streams and videos, but I think it's time to bring it up once again because I feel like there's a little bit of an update. And as we talk about this, I'm actually going to pop up some pictures of recruits that have visited Miami recently. And I want you to keep in mind that all of these visits have happened since Mario Cristobal took over. Pay close attention to what's missing in all of them. No turnover chain and no touchdown rings. I fully believe that Mario Cristobal has decided to take them away, but I also want you to keep in mind that this would not have been just Cristobal's decision. He made it known whenever he was hired on that he would sit down with the players, and this would be a decision that they would all make together. Now, one quick disclaimer before I start telling you why I think this is such a great decision. We have much bigger fish to fry right now. I mean, obviously, we still don't have an OC or a DC, so the turnover chain talk is the least of our worries, and I believe that it is 100% very low on the priority list. However, I still think that it is a very important discussion to have. So what I'm going to do is just discuss and counter some of the big arguments that I see people throw at me when talking about the turnover chain and touchdown rings. Let's not forget about those because I've been very open and upfront with my stance on wanting to get rid of both of them. So right out of the gate, one of the biggest things people always hit me with is Coop. So many other schools have turnover props and it doesn't distract them. They're still winning and the players love it. And you're right, they do. I just saw on Twitter today that Alabama revealed some kind of big, massive turnover chain that they have that has all these diamonds and stuff on it and a big red A. And, you know, all the recruits and current players are taking pictures with it and posting it all on social media. But to that I say, I don't care what other teams are doing. And since when does Miami or any of its fans care what anyone else is doing? We do things our way. We create our own path. We're not interested in being followers. With the big staff change, I think this is an opportunity to get back to basics, to get back to fundamentals, to winning being enough. We don't need the props. Which brings me to the next argument. But Coop, you just don't understand the culture. The bling bling is Miami. It's South Florida. I'm actually going to fire back with a question to those fans. Tell me which national championship winning Miami Hurricanes football team had a turnover chain or touchdown rings. I'll wait. And don't get me wrong, it was cool while it lasted. I myself have a couple variations of the turnover chain and, you know, everybody buys the shirts and it was a really hot thing for a while, but now it just kind of, to me personally anyways, feels a little gimmicky. And no, I don't want to bring them back if we start winning. I don't want it to be one of those balancing acts where, you know, oh, well, if we're up by at least 2 touchdowns and we get a turnover, we'll bring it out. But if we're losing, we don't bring it out. Or once we win X amount of games, we'll bring them back. Or if we have a winning season, then we'll release something. Let's just win and keep doing it. So let's move on to the next one. But Coop, times have changed. This is the TikTok and Instagram era. Showing out and being flashy is what's cool, and we need to appeal to recruits this new age. In my opinion, if a recruit is only interested in coming to Miami so they can rock some Cuban links for 30 seconds after they get an interception, I don't want them coming to Miami anyways. Yes, it was a cool little bonus and it blew up. It was all on the national stage and everyone loved it for years. But if that is the sole reason, you have to understand what I'm saying. If that is the deciding factor for a recruit, if they come out and say, if Miami has a new flashy turnover chain, then I'll go to Miami. But if they decide to get rid of it, I'm going to another school. Then they need to go on to another school. As I said, it's time for us to set a new standard at the University of Miami, which is winning. And that will absolutely bring in the recruits. Now, I don't want you to take this video the wrong way. I don't have an issue with turnover props or touchdown rings or anything like that. They have their place, and at times it does absolutely hype up the players. But at the end of the day, this right here should carry enough weight. The opportunity to rep this and throw this you up should be enough. And honestly, I think it's still cool if fans rocked turnover chains to games because it was absolutely a big part of our history. It was a big deal. And I also don't even see a problem with letting recruits wear the old turnover chains for their pictures and their social media posts and all that stuff, because I know they like the bling. They like looking flashy. And to those that say, it doesn't really have an impact at that point because they can't actually rock it during the game if they get a turnover, I still think that they like, kind of, what's the term, the word here, kind of dressing up, showing out for the social media stuff. Because think about it, man, whenever they wear all these sweatbands, right, you got 42 of them on each arm for your Instagram post from your official visit. You don't actually wear that during the game, right? You might have one or two on each arm, but you don't have 36 of them. So even though they don't get to rock that during the game, they still just want to look cool for the pictures. But my thing is, at this point, the turnover chain has been around for 5 years. And after 5 years roughly of mediocrity and now a coaching change, let's get rid of any gimmicks and potential distractions. Let's get back to dominating and winning Miami Hurricanes football. Manny Diaz brought us the turnover chain. Let's let it leave with him. But what I would love to see is your opinion down in the comment section below. Let me know if you think I'm full of crap. Let me know if you think the turnover chain and touchdown rings should stay. Let me know if you think they should go. And as I said, I know we've discussed this many times, but this will be in a more condensed format on a video that's dedicated specifically to that. And I feel like it's important to bring it up once again now that we have seen a lack of those props being used in recruits' visits now that Mario Cristobal is the head coach. And I do think it will be interesting because the turnover chain and touchdown rings created some extra revenue for the school and Adidas and a lot of other companies because of the merch that it created. So, that could potentially play a part. I know that we as fans, are mostly worried about winning and we want to bring in the recruits, but there are some, companies that might lose some money. I mean, I guess that's really the least of our worries because, again, as fans, we're more worried about winning. But that could potentially have an impact, I guess, if Adidas said, hey, we sell tons of these turnover chain shirts, and if you get rid of it, that's, a huge part of our sales. So we need you to bring out a sixth new one so we can print some new t-shirts or something like that. I don't know. But, to that, I would say, what about a t-shirt with a sixth ring on it? After winning? How does that sound? But just so you know, to wrap this up, I won't be mad if Mario Cristobal does decide to keep the turnover chain or the touchdown rings or both. Or maybe, this is something where a decision just hasn't been officially made and they've just kind of put it on standby. Or maybe they're cooking up something entirely new. I don't know. Or maybe it is just a new design for the turnover chain and they just aren't finished with it yet. No matter what Mario Cristobal decides, I will stand behind that. I'm just using my platform to voice my opinion and let you guys know how I personally feel about this. And I'm looking forward to reading your comments on it. It's okay if we disagree. It's perfectly fine. And as I said, I realize other schools are breaking out some bling bling and some new props and things. But again, I don't care what they are doing. We can do our own thing and still take care of business and land these big time recruiting classes. Remember though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family. But at the end of the day, I gotta say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out.